The billionaire Sheikh stood in the middle of the luxury conference hall and asked a question in Arabic. Dozens of successful executives sat around the room, educated people, powerful people, but no one answered. Then, from the back of the room, a quiet voice spoke. The answer came from the one person nobody expected, the cleaner. And what happened next left everyone in the room completely speechless. It was a bright morning in London, inside one of the city's most prestigious hotels. The Royal Kensington Conference Hall was filled with business leaders from around the world. Large glass windows allowed sunlight to pour into the elegant hall. Rows of polished tables were arranged neatly across the room. Executives from different countries sat in expensive suits, preparing for an international investment meeting. The event had attracted powerful figures from Europe, America, and the Middle East, but the most important guest had not yet arrived. His name was Sheikh Khalid al-Rashid, a billionaire investor known for building global companies worth billions of dollars. He was respected not only for his wealth, but for his intelligence. People often said Sheikh Khalid had a special talent. He could understand a person's character within minutes. At exactly 10 a.m., the doors of the conference hall opened. Everyone turned their heads. Sheikh Khalid walked into the room calmly. He wore a traditional white kandura and a dark suit jacket. Two assistants followed behind him. The room immediately grew quiet. Executives stood respectfully. The event host greeted him warmly. "Welcome, Sheikh Khalid. It's an honor to have you here." The sheikh nodded politely. "Thank you." He walked slowly toward the stage at the front of the hall. Hundreds of eyes followed him. Everyone expected a powerful business speech, but Sheikh Khalid had something else in mind. After greeting the audience, Sheikh Khalid paused for a moment. Then he looked across the room carefully. His eyes moved from one table to another. He seemed to be observing people more than preparing to speak. Finally, he said something unexpected, but he did not say it in English. He spoke in Arabic. The room immediately filled with confusion. Most of the executives did not understand the language. The sheikh repeated the question calmly. The words echoed through the quiet hall. But still, no one answered. People looked at each other nervously. Some whispered, others simply remained silent. The host looked uncomfortable. He leaned toward the sheikh and quietly said, "Sir, perhaps many people here do not speak Arabic." But the sheikh did not respond. He simply waited, as if he expected someone in the room to understand. At the very back of the hall, a young cleaner pushed a small cleaning cart quietly along the wall. Her name was Layla. She had arrived early that morning to prepare the hall before the event began. Now she was simply finishing small tasks while the conference continued. Like most service workers in large events, she was almost invisible to the guests. Executives spoke loudly, assistants rushed around, but no one noticed the cleaner working quietly behind them. Layla had not planned to listen to the meeting, but when the sheikh asked his question in Arabic, she froze, because she understood every word. She looked around the room. Everyone was silent. The sheikh asked the question again. Still no answer. Layla hesitated. Should she say something? After all, she was only a cleaner. These were powerful business leaders. Maybe it wasn't her place to speak. But the question the sheikh asked was not about business. It was about something much deeper. And finally, she raised her voice. "Sir." The quiet voice echoed through the large conference hall. Heads turned. Executives looked toward the back of the room. The sheikh slowly lifted his eyes. He saw the young cleaner standing beside her cart. She looked nervous, but her voice remained steady. And then she answered him in perfect Arabic. The entire room fell silent. Executives stared in disbelief. A cleaner speaking fluent Arabic? Even Sheikh Khalid looked surprised. He walked slowly down from the stage, step by step, until he stood only a few feet away from her. Then he asked gently, "Where did you learn Arabic?" Layla lowered her eyes respectfully. "My father was a teacher," she said softly. "He believed language helps people understand each other."
The Sheikh nodded slowly, but he had another question, and this one would change Layla's life forever.
The entire conference hall had gone completely silent. Dozens of executives stared in disbelief. A few minutes ago, they had been waiting for a billionaire's business speech. Instead, they were now watching a conversation between Sheikh Khalid al-Rashid and a cleaner. The Sheikh looked at Layla carefully. There was curiosity in his eyes now. "Tell me something," he said gently. "You understood my question in Arabic." Layla nodded. "Yes, sir." The Sheikh folded his hands behind his back. "Then answer another question for me." The room grew even quieter. Layla felt every eye in the hall watching her, but she remained calm. "Yes, sir," she said. Sheikh Khalid spoke again in Arabic, but this time his question was different. He asked, "What is the most valuable thing a person can offer the world?" Executives leaned forward. Some of them quietly turned on translation apps on their phones. Others simply watched. Everyone was curious. Would the cleaner really answer such a deep question? Layla thought for a moment. Then she spoke in clear, confident Arabic. "Respect." A murmur moved through the audience. The Sheikh tilted his head slightly. "Respect," he repeated. "Yes," Layla said, "because when people respect each other, they listen." She paused. "And when people listen, they understand." The hall remained silent. Layla continued, "And when people understand each other, the world becomes better." Some executives looked impressed. Others looked embarrassed. After all, many of them had ignored the cleaner earlier that morning. Sheikh Khalid slowly smiled. It was not a big smile, but it was the kind of smile that appears when someone hears a truly thoughtful answer. "You speak wisely," he said. Layla looked slightly surprised. "Thank you, sir." The Sheikh looked toward the audience. Then he asked another question, this time in English. "Does anyone here know how many languages this young woman speaks?" No one answered. Layla hesitated. "3," she said quietly. "Arabic, English, and Spanish." A few people in the room exchanged surprised looks. 3 languages? Sheikh Khalid raised an eyebrow. "And yet you work here as a cleaner?" Layla nodded respectfully. "Yes, sir." The Sheikh stepped closer. "Why?" Layla looked down for a moment. Then she spoke honestly. "I was studying international relations at university." Several executives began listening more carefully. "But my father became sick 2 years ago. He was a school teacher. When he passed away, my family struggled financially." Her voice remained calm. "So I left my studies and started working." She gestured slightly toward the cleaning cart beside her. "This job helps support my mother and younger brother." The room grew quiet again. Some executives lowered their eyes, because the cleaner standing in front of them had a story none of them had bothered to ask about. Sheikh Khalid remained silent for a long moment. Then he turned slowly toward the audience. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "I asked the question in Arabic earlier today." He paused. "Not because I expected everyone to understand the language." The room waited. "I asked it because I wanted to see who in this room was truly listening." He looked back at Layla, and the only person who answered was the one person everyone ignored. The statement hung in the air. A few executives looked uncomfortable. The Sheikh continued, "Many people believe success comes from intelligence or money." He shook his head slightly. "But the world's greatest opportunities often belong to people who respect others and remain curious." Then he turned to Layla again. "I would like to ask you one final question." Layla nodded. "Yes, sir. Would you like to return to university?" Layla blinked in surprise. Of course, sir." The Sheikh smiled gently.
Good. He turned toward his assistant. Please arrange a scholarship for Layla. The entire room froze. The assistant nodded. Yes, sir. She will return to university and finish her international relations degree. Layla could hardly believe what she was hearing. Sir, I don't know what to say. The sheik raised a hand kindly. Say nothing. He pointed lightly toward the audience. You already answered the most important question today. Layla's eyes filled with emotion, because in a single moment, her future had changed. 1 year later, Layla walked through the gates of a London university. She carried a backpack filled with books. She was studying international relations again. The dream she once thought impossible had returned, and every time she walked into class, she remembered something important. Sometimes the world notices you in the most unexpected moments. This story teaches a powerful lesson. Never judge a person by their job or appearance. The quietest person in the room may carry the greatest wisdom. Respect is not about status. It is about how we treat people when we believe they have nothing to offer us. Because sometimes the person cleaning the room today may be the person changing the world tomorrow. If this story inspired you, remember this. Respect every person you meet. You never know what talents, dreams, or wisdom they carry. And if you enjoy emotional stories about life lessons, powerful moments,